She deliberately blasted music at 3 a.m. saying, "If I'm awake, you're awake." I said, "Understood." Before I left for the hotel, I hid 3 alarms in the air vents set to go off at random intervals forever. She tore the house apart, trying to find the noise while I slept soundly. I moved into my apartment specifically because it was quiet. Ground floor, older building, thick walls. The leasing agent promised the upstairs unit had been vacant for months. 2 weeks later, Veronica moved in above me. At first, the footsteps were normal. Then she started what I can only describe as midnight fashion shows. Every night between 1 and 3 a.m., she'd pace her apartment in stilettos on hardwood, back and forth. My ceiling fan would rattle with each step. I tried the polite approach, knocked on her door one Saturday morning. "Hey, I'm your downstairs neighbor. Would you mind wearing slippers after midnight? The floors carry sound really easily." She looked at me like I'd asked her to sacrifice a goat. "I pay rent here. I walk how I want. Get a white noise machine." I bought earplugs. Helped a little. Bought a white noise machine. Helped less. The stomping continued. Sometimes she'd drop things that sounded like bowling balls at 2:47 a.m. I started documenting everything. Timestamps. Videos with audio. Building a case. Then came the Thursday that changed everything. I had a massive client presentation at 8 a.m. Went to bed at 10 p.m. like a responsible adult. At 2:14 a.m., the ceiling above my bed started shaking. Not just footsteps. Music. Bass so heavy my water glass vibrated off the nightstand. I marched upstairs and pounded on her door. She opened it mid-song, drink in hand, wearing heels indoors at 2 a.m. like a psychopath. "Can you please turn that down? I have work in 5 hours." She took a sip and smiled. "If I'm awake, you're awake. That's apartment living, sweetie. Deal with it." Then she shut the door in my face. I stood there for 30 seconds. Then I smiled. See, I'd noticed something during my documentation phase. Veronica had 3 chihuahuas she never walked. They'd yap at nothing all day. Birds, mailmen, their own reflections. The next morning, I went to the pet store. Dog whistles emit frequencies humans can't hear, but dogs absolutely lose their minds over. I bought 3 different frequencies for variety. Also picked up a small Bluetooth speaker with a timer function. Veronica's schedule was predictable. She'd crash around 4 a.m. and sleep until noon. Sunday morning at 6:47 a.m., I pressed play. The speaker, hidden in my ceiling vent directly below her bedroom, started emitting ultrasonic frequencies on loop. Within seconds, all 3 chihuahuas absolutely lost their minds, barking, howling, scratching at doors. Then Veronica's muffled screaming, "Shut up! Shut up!" More barking. She stomped around trying to calm them. They barked harder. I made coffee and smiled. The beauty of dog whistles is they're completely silent to humans. Veronica couldn't hear anything. Her dogs could hear everything. She thought they'd suddenly developed behavioral issues. For 2 weeks, I ran the whistles on random timers. 6 a.m. some days, 7:30 others, never a pattern. Her sleeping schedule collapsed. I'd hear her screaming at her dogs at all hours. Twice she pounded on my door at 3 p.m. Dark circles under her eyes. "Are you doing something to my dogs?" "What do you mean? I've been working all day. Are you okay? You look exhausted." She couldn't prove anything. There was nothing to prove. The landlord got noise complaints about her dogs. 3 different neighbors submitted them. Veronica tried explaining that something was making them crazy, but she sounded unhinged. "Ma'am, your dogs are your responsibility. 3rd strike is lease termination." Last week, she knocked on my door. Humble, broken. "Look, I'm sorry about before. The walking at night. Can we start over?" I leaned against my doorframe. "Absolutely. I'd love that." She nodded eagerly. "So, you're not doing anything weird, right? With my dogs?" I tilted my head, concerned. "That's so strange. Have you tried getting them checked by a vet? Sudden behavioral changes sometimes indicate health issues." Her eye twitched. She shuffled back upstairs. I closed my door, removed the speaker from my ceiling vent, and turned off the timer. That night, complete silence from above. No heels, no stomping, no 2 a.m. parties. Veronica still lives above me. She wears slippers after 10 p.m. now and waves nervously whenever we pass in the hallway. She never figured out what happened, and I sleep like a baby.